Yeah. Y'all know what it is. What's happening? First of all, I don't know if y'all see what we got going on, who we got here, but welcome to Off the Chest. You know what I mean? Where we're gonna get a little chest in, as you can see, and we're gonna get some shit off our chest at the same time. So with this platform, I'm gonna put a little disclaimer out there too. With our guests coming here and sharing their pieces and bits and pieces of their story, with them sharing how they feel in certain situations. With that being said too, please, if you can't handle some of this truth that we're gonna provide, please tap out right now, because it's gonna come whether you like it or not. All right, so I ain't gonna stall no longer. You know what I mean? Our guest, I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
What's up, man? I'm Bob. Some people know me as Bob. Some people know me as Eastside Bobby.
Eastside Bobby.
Got that from my man Jewy. What's up, Jewy?
Yeah, oh boy.
Yeah, I'm Bob from around the way, man.
All right, so y'all know we gonna get a little chest in. You know what I mean? So as y'all can see again, our guest, we're gonna give them white. We're gonna give them the advantage. They're gonna start out with the advantage. All right, I don't know how you play, but we play, touch move.
Yeah, if you touch it, you gotta move it.
If you touch it, you gotta move it.
Yeah.
All right?
That's why I be careful.
Okay. That's why you be careful. So how long, first of all, before we get started, how long have you known how to play chess?
What's this year? 2020?
2020.
2020. I don't know. I learned in probably about 99.
Okay, 99. I don't know if y'all can see my man's grades. He got a beard full of grades. I got about 3 or 4 of them in my beard, and I show them things off every time I can. You know what I mean? With that,
I used to dye them, but a lot of people was like, "Nah, man, don't dye it. Keep it salt and pepper."
He said, "Hold on to that thing."
Yeah, so I keep it salt and pepper now. I don't dye. They used to dye it all black.
Hey, that's it.
Keep my youth.
That's it. All right, so this is what we're going to do. You know what I mean? He's white, of course. I'm black, of course. All right? We're going to get it going right here. You know what I mean? He's going to get it going.
Let's do it.
Oh, man. Hey, so just so you know, too, I don't want no trouble.
Oh, here you go.
You know what I mean?
You've been saying that all
Hey,
day.
I'm telling you, you know me, my story's still the same. I don't want no trouble. I'm just trying to play a little chess, man. So with this platform too, just looking at the climate of the black man right now, looking at what's going on in our country, looking at the elections, all that stuff like that, you know what I mean? But specifically, how do you feel about being a black man, number one?
I'm nervous, for one, just being at I don't know if you know, I was shot by the police before. You feel what I'm saying?
Nah, I don't.
Yeah, so I definitely can relate to the shit going on, and it's like nerve-wracking, but makes me very, very nervous myself. You feel what I'm saying? So as a black man, you just gotta watch how you move, and it sucks. We can't move freely. It's supposed to be the land of the free. We can't move around this bitch freely, man. We got to, I don't know if we can cuss on there.
Yeah, by all means.
But we can't move around this thing freely. We got to really watch what we do and how we do it, because if we don't, we'll fall victim. You know what I mean?
So with you, you know what I mean? Number one, we're gonna come back. I wanna touch your story a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's start in the 90s. Let's start at the summer of violence.
Oh.
What was you doing?
I was here
during that summer.
I was involved in my mom. She moved me out of she moved us out of town because she was like, nah, you know what I'm saying, I don't want my babies involved in this right here. So we was here for half the summer of violence, and she was like, nah, we gotta go.
And how old were you at that time?
13. Okay. 93 was summer of violence, right? Yeah, I was 13.
Okay.
12 going on 13. 12 going on 13.
Okay. So when you said you were shot by the police, what drew that attention? And before we get there too, tell me about your mom and pops.
Oh, it's a sad story, the same sad story we always hear. Mom was doing her thing as far as in the streets, and pops I don't know what my pops was doing. I ain't really fuck with him when I was young. You know what I mean? But I heard about it, and a lot of people in the town heard about it. So I don't really know dude. I just met him. I know him now though. Actually, he do more for my kids. I appreciate him now more than I did then. You know what I mean? Because he do a lot for my kids. You feel what I'm saying? More than he ever did for me. Okay. So I'll take that as opposed to, being there for me as a child. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what's your relationship now with your moms?
Oh, me and my mom, great.
Oh, okay. So you still got your moms and your pops?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. You know what I mean? So looking at that, number one, what would you say is the number one lesson that you took away from your pops, even right now?
the
with
number
him
one
being a
lesson is
grandpa.
to be there for my kids, regardless. You know what I mean? Got to be the number one lesson because he wasn't there for me, so I got to be there for them.
Okay.
I don't want them to. I grew up with a chip on my shoulder a little bit. You know what I mean? It took me a while to accept him. He didn't come around until I was 20 something.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, quick story. I didn't know none of my brothers that was out of town. They lived in Phoenix. I didn't know my brothers and sisters that he had, right? So I don't know how it happened. I got out of jail and I don't know how we connected. We connected somehow, and my little brother, I started talking to my little brother from him, and so I go out there and see him in Arizona.
And just so the people know, we is playing chess too. So you
my
right
fault.
now. Don't move, you know what I mean?
So I went to Arizona to meet him. You know what I mean? And this dude take me to meet my pops, and I didn't want to meet him. I was mad at my little brother for the whole trip. Like, man, I didn't want to meet this dude. You know what I mean? Then it took me a while. And I got used to it and accepted the dude in my life.
Okay. So I mean, coming back too. So you said your mom was in the streets, and you didn't really have a relationship with your pops like that growing up.
Yeah.
So who raised you?
The streets. My cousin, rest in peace, Michael Asbury, played a big part in my life.
R.I.P. Son.
His mother, Josie, rest in peace. They played a big part, and then I just like moved around a lot. You know what I mean? So,
give me some lessons from the streets. You say the streets raised you.
I mean, I just the basics. I mean, if you know the basics, just don't tell nobody. Keep your mouth shut.
I mean, but is that applied though?
For me it was, but nowadays it's not.
Why do you think that's the case?
Everything's different nowadays.
I mean, can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
You gangbang?
Yeah.
Okay, what hood you got?
I'm from Trey.
Trey. Okay.
It was only right. I mean, he's like my cousin.
So looking at that too, so that came from that atmosphere.
Yeah.
And you know some of the older homies.
Yeah.
That told.
Yeah.
How come? This is a number one. You know what I mean? I'm glad that we here right now too. Number one, there's a rule that you ain't supposed to talk to the police whatsoever if you gangbang, correct?
Correct. Well, I mean, you can't stop yourself. You can stop yourself as much as you possible from talking to the police. So the rule of not talking to the police is really like I say is what you say.
I mean that goes to if you need some help.
Right.
You're not supposed to call the police.
That's what they say. Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
So I mean, so looking at that, and then coming back to, what is a snitch? By definition,
what's crazy? I was just sitting here thinking. I swear to God, I was thinking that this morning. I don't know why, and it's crazy that you bring it up right now. I swear to God, I was thinking that this morning. Like, what is the true definition of a snitch? I know I've asked somebody before, what did they think it was? A couple of people, they say it was really like, say if me and you go and do something, and I tell on you like, well, it was his idea for us to go in there and rob this place. You know what I mean? And then say we don't get caught, and say you don't get caught, and I get caught.
Okay.
So they don't even know who the other person is.
And you
tell who was your other code? Who was the person that was with you? There's somebody that was with you. And I tell him it was Billy Joe.
Yeah.
He was with me.
Yeah.
And we both went there together.
Yeah.
That's definitely
and
snitching.
Both of y'all was involved in a crime.
Yeah, that's definitely snitching.
That's definitely snitching.
Now, is it snitching?
So let me ask you this. So let's say on the block, I'm just standing on the block. There's everybody hanging out, chilling, everything. That's the scenario. That's the place. That's where we at. And there's a drive-by. You know what I mean? A little girl get hit. And I say something. I see who it was, and I say something. What is that?
That's a hard one to go off of because by street code.
I mean, this is not street code. This
no, that's what I'm saying. By street code,
I wasn't in the car.
For me,
no nothing.
If you're like, you can't expect a innocent bystander or non-affiliated person to not tell what he knows.
Hold on, one more time, please.
If you are innocent bystander or non-affiliated person to not tell what they know.
Okay. So
say it was a drive-by and say you're not affiliated, I am affiliated, and whatever the case may be, and I chose not to say nothing, and you chose to say something, I can't, that's how you was raised, probably most likely 9 times out of 10.
So now let's look at that right there. How come is that, is it my move or, it's my move? My bad, I'm stalling. You know what I mean? My bad, we stalling.
That's all right.
Let's look at this. How come, even looking at that situation right there, how come, you know, those can hold that culture? You know what I mean? Even if you was on the block and or even somebody else who's gangbanging and they see the whole situation,
Right.
and they choose not to tell because that's that street code. How does that weigh over, you know, your own moral ethics as a grown man, as a you know what I mean?
It depends on your morals and how you feel as a man. Like, do you look at that type shit? Like, say a little girl get hit, do you like give a fuck, or you just like on some gangster shit? Like, oh, it happened. She was on the block. What is a little girl being on the block? Like, she could have been going to go get some ice cream with her mama or something and accidentally get hit. It's all on how you feel, like, as a man, your morals and shit. That's how I look at it.
I mean, looking at that too, how do you change that culture? How do you shift that culture? Just coming back to the whole human aspect, because that shouldn't be a question.
It shouldn't
comes
be.
to a human aspect, you know what I mean? Yeah, it shouldn't be.
But,
just so y'all know too, we tapped in. You know what I mean? This is off your chest. You know, with King Phillip and my man B.O.B. You know what I mean? Eastside Bobby. You know
it shouldn't be, but it's fucked up. I think it's different now though. I think a motherfucker tell real quick nowadays. These little young kids with these tight jeans on and shit. Mm-hmm. I think they really, for real. I think they really they tell something. Right. They live in this life.
So
they live life too much.
What's shifted? Because these is potentially the parents, the kids of the parents who snitching too. You know what I mean?
What shifted? Because music was a big influence on my life as well, growing up. You know what I mean? I know this music. It seems like music is a more impactful nowadays than it was back then. You know what I mean? I don't know how much to heart we took music back then. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? As opposed to how they do now. Because they hear somebody say they're doing some drugs, they about to go find that exact same drug and do it. You know what I mean? Back then, they made that type of music back then, but we wasn't doing that type shit. So I don't know. It's weird.
I mean, so how is it okay to snitch though?
I don't think it is. I don't honestly think it is.
I mean, you saying that the little boys, the young boys was out there wearing the skinny jeans and stuff like that, like that'd be.
I don't think it's never okay to tell. You feel what I'm saying? That's definitely not what I'm saying, but you just gotta look at the person and who it is. If you know that this person was running around here doing this and doing that, and then next thing you know, he's telling on something.
I ain't dealing with that person, first of all.
Yeah, you know. Period. We shouldn't be dealing with.
We play chess. Yeah. You know what I mean? We just don't try to use this on the board. We try to use that same thinking mind frame and apply that to the streets.
As you should.
As you should.
How you should do it.
As you should. So I mean, you know, I guess even looking at that question, number one, just how do we shift that culture to get those who's out there gangbanging and who's not involved in that specific activity, that specific crime or whatnot, you know what I mean, to be willing to say something to the police, even if that's that culture, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you do music, right?
I don't rap or nothing. I just used to put together shows.
Okay,
and stuff.
Okay, you do the back shows. So looking at the whole culture, how come you think that there's so much negative
in music
is being pushed?
Because it's what sells. You know what I mean? Like it's what's popping. Like I like party records. You know what I mean? And those ain't as popping as the ones that's talking about doing drugs and doing this and doing that. Shit, you can even make a record about fucking, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. I'll take that over the negativity shit. You know what I mean?
Easy. I mean, but how is it that why do you think negative sells? Like, I mean, I've even gotten to the point where if I see a fighting video on the internet, you know what I mean?
Turn it off.
I don't share it.
Yeah.
I don't push that negativity. I'm gonna watch it, be like, damn, that nigga.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna share it. I'm not gonna push that negativity. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I mean, you know, everything too. Looking at this, we looking at a culture shift. Right. You know what I mean? With our influence in the industry, how do we make that shift to the point where we don't allow?
I think it shifted in like the early 2000s when I think I seen the shift. I was just getting out of jail in the early 2000s, and that's when I seen a big change in everything. And I believe it came from drugs. I did 5.5 at that point. I think it came from drugs. That's what I'm thinking really made the big shift of why people is the way they are right now.
You got kids?
Yeah, I got 4.
4.
Yeah.
What's the age range?
23 to 8.
23
to 23.
Okay. And you was out of the 23-year-old's lives.
The first 5 years.
The first 5 years.
Yeah, first 5.5 years.
First 5.5.
6.
How's that?
6. Oh, that was horrible because it still messes up my relationship with my daughter to this day. You know what I mean? So it affected me very, very bad in a negative way.
Straightening. Yeah, I was straightening that piece of you saw it, right? Okay. Just making sure we saw that. You know, I ain't good with that. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna come back. I don't want no trouble. You know, so the first 5 years.
Yeah, 5.5, 6 years, yeah.
I mean, so
Castle.
how, you know, I was blessed to I waited a while before I decided to have kids. You know what I mean? And when I hear people when I hear people that hustle, they always say that they are out here hustling for their kids. They out here doing it because they gotta, you know, make sure that their kids eating at the house is straight. All right. Was you thinking about prison when you was out there?
Fuck no.
So you didn't think you was able to get touched?
Yeah, hell no. You don't think like that. You just be thinking like, shit, I'm out here doing my thing. And yeah, like for real, you know, like prison be like the last thing on your mind. For real, when you out there really in that life, you just, cause you're doing so much different shit. Selling drugs.
I mean, you said it's the last thing that's on your mind?
Yeah, cause you just out there living life, having fun. You don't, like, to me, this is what happened with me at least. Prison didn't hit me until I was in prison. You know what I mean? It was already too late. Like I went as a juvenile, but I was charged as an adult, right? So I was in Cell House 5. I don't know if you know what Cell House 5 is, but Cell House 5 is a transitional place, right, for you to go to the pen. And I'm 16 at the time, 16 or 17 at the time, and Scared Straight come through. So and these is my peers, the Scared Straight program. I'm sitting here listening to what these dudes are saying, and that's when it hit me. Like at first I was at the gate, like, damn, this is Scared Straight. Like I seen this shit on TV, and then like I'm hearing the shit that they saying. I'm actually right there I'm next door to the dude. You know what I'm saying? He's talking to a motherfucker my age. I rape you and do this type of shit and da. So I sat back I went back and sat on the toilet like, this is it. You know what I mean? That's when it really, really hit me. Like at first, it didn't even hit me when I was in the county or nothing like that. After I got sentenced, it hit me at that point.
Was that the same energy that they put out though? Once the cameras and stuff was off?
Nah, not at all. I mean, for some, actually. For some, maybe. But it wasn't the case with me at all. But yeah, for some, it was, Yep. For some, it was rough. I bet. I know.
Okay. Boys or girls?
3 boys, 1 girl.
3 boys, 1 girl. And what's your oldest?
23, the girl.
The girl.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man. You know, my oldest is a 17-year-old girl. You know what I mean?
Man, it's pivotal to be in their life.
How did you deal with dating? How do you deal with dating now? And what's the other ages in between?
But see, this is the thing. The other ages in between is 18, 15, and 8.
Okay. So how do you deal with dating when it came to your 23-year-old woman?
Unfortunate to, like I told you, me going to jail hindered the relationship with me and my daughter. You feel what I'm saying? So I was unfortunate enough I didn't get to see the date. And I seen some of it, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I'd be able to come around, they was letting me around, and then a lot of BS happened with their family. But so I didn't see the dating part. You know what I'm saying? I was around in high school or whatever for a minute, and then it's just like a switch. It's a weird story. But I was fortunate enough to not have to deal with it. But I know she had a best friend that was gay. I wonder if he's still her friend or whatever the situation was. But she had a best friend that was gay when she was in high school, like all through high school. You know what I mean? So I don't know which route she took.
Are you a grandparent? Are you a grandpa? Okay.
You?
No, not yet. You know what I mean?
You said your oldest is 17.
Yeah, my oldest is 17. You know, it's you know, how do you deal with, you know, I'm getting two, you know, we're getting ready to touch the black women. Not you know what I mean? We're getting ready to protect our black women. You know what I mean? How do we protect our black women? Number one, from just the culture that's being pushed out here and perpetuated.
Man, for real, I say keep them away from social media. This social media is like, it's not good. I mean, if you use it for what you're supposed to use it for, then okay. But when you get on there,
and it's your turn too. You stole it.
When you get to getting on there and being messy and all that old extra shit and feeding into the negativity, then that's when I feel like social media is a real big problem for shit, not even for everybody. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I would say my number one thing would be social media. All bullshit aside.
So what would you say in terms of friends? You know, because the social media
It's
it's a
like
part, but you know it's your friends. Because I know when growing up, I acted one way around my friends, but then I would act a certain way around my grandma. You know what I mean? I didn't want my grandma to see the kind of heathen I was out here being out here in these streets.
You know, the crazy part about it is these kids kind of ain't really hiding it from their parents just too much nowadays. They kind of like telling their parents, like, my homegirl told me her daughter, 12 years old, I want to say, said that told her that she wants to smoke weed. Like, why? But she's like, I want to smoke weed when I get older.
So the daughter told the parent that?
Yeah. So what do you be like, okay?
I mean, looking at that too, me personally, I would feel like if my child is comfortable enough to come to me on that level.
Say that.
You know what I mean? Because my thing is, I would rather you come to me, and if you really want to do it, shit, let's sit down and I'm make sure that it's safe.
Right.
You're in a safe environment so that when you are there, you're gonna be safe and you're not out there on the bullshit.
You're not gonna make it a social drug.
Yeah, at all. If you want to try it, okay, let's set it up.
Right.
So that you ain't out there high on no bullshit,
right,
getting taken advantage of type of thing. You know what I mean? So with that situation like that, I'm like, man, that sounds solid. But at the same time, there are parents who's like, man, fuck that. No, period.
Yeah.
What does that do?
Right. Probably makes the kid. Well, with my, I've been pretty fortunate when it comes to kids, man. I haven't
That's a whole night. He giving away whole nights around here, just so y'all know. He giving away whole nights, all right? I don't want no trouble, though.
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough, like, man, my kids is pretty good kids, man. They ain't really came at me with no weird stuff or what they want to do or none of that type of stuff. I mean, the positive things.
Have they came to you, or have you experienced the, you know what I mean, the I want to try shit phase, you know what I mean? No. And was you ever like, no? And
nope, not yet. I'm hoping
have you came to your parents like that?
Now as an adult, yeah.
Why not as
a child? Nah, it wasn't. Well, first off, like I said, I was moving around so much. I was living with different family members. I didn't even really have nobody to go. Only person I could tell that to was either my older brothers or Sight. You know what I mean? So I was telling them, you know, and Sight did his hardest to make sure I stayed away from gangs and everything.
How did that work?
It didn't. Really. So when the time came, he made sure I got my issue.
I mean, but you know what I mean? Looking at it too, you know, I know some families who are, you know, for example, my older cousin and my brother, you know what I mean? They scared me at a younger age. They told me, you know, if we find out you gang banging, we gonna stomp you out. We gonna get you type of thing.
Right.
And I know some families are like, okay, if you gonna gang bang, come join our gang. You know what I mean? Come be a part of this right here.
That's dope.
Instead of steering them other ways. You know what I mean? Would you say gang banging has been something good for you? Would you say that has been, let me rephrase that. Would you say it's been life altering?
Definitely life altering.
Okay, now follow up. Go ahead.
Definitely life altering in actually positive and negative ways. It made me see shit differently. You know, I did tonight. It altered my life negatively and positively because I mean, shit, I was out there doing some shit I ain't got no business doing and made me miss 5.5 years of my daughter's life. You feel what I'm saying? And it caused hurt to a lot of families, including mine. You see what I'm saying? So definitely, that's where I say negatively. And then also, I be looked at a different way. You know, that's why I be kind of so big on changing the way people look at me and the way people view me. And I don't tell a lot of people my past a lot. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, like to a kid or something, if I'm preaching, trying to show somebody something, I'll tell somebody my story or whatever the case may be, and let them try to see the light from there or whatever. But for the most part, I don't tell a lot of older people or any, because it's like, if you know type shit. You know, if you was back then and you knew, then that's what it was. But I don't really, the reason why, because I don't want it to seem like I'm glorifying it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times I don't, but sometimes you need to do that depending on who you're talking to. You need to like try to show them like, you don't want to do this. You don't want to go through this and want to go through that. You don't want to be seeing your mama cry like this and all this type of other stuff. You know what I mean? So you got to like try to tell them a story. So, but for the most part, I don't tell nobody. It affected me positively because it made me look at shit a whole different way.
So
I don't know where I would be.
So if you was to meet when did you get quoted? When did you get put on?
95.
So you've been banging for
25
years. 25 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you was to tell your, what's that, 15?
My 15-year-old self?
15-year-old self?
You know, I told my 16-year-old self, though, I told my 15-year-old self, I wouldn't have told myself shit. But that 16, 17, because I was just hard-headed, man. For real, I was just hard-headed. I didn't really listen, because both my brothers was in jail. I think Psych was kicked out of Colorado at that time. So it's like, shit, what I'm gonna do?
So your 16-year-old self.
My 16-year-old self, I told my 16-year-old self that them streets ain't shit, because when I went to jail, not one nigga put money on my books, and I was going for that.
I mean, this ain't nothing new though.
Yeah,
this ain't something that.
But that's how I learned it at 16. You know what I mean? Some people didn't learn it.
I mean, but still hearing it though too,
Yeah.
it's not gonna change people. Like, oh, they gonna look out for me though.
Oh yeah, they think that.
You know,
they think you gotta
that.
put them in that situation.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I said. Put them in that situation.
You know what I mean? So looking at that too, you know, you said Psych was out of Colorado. You know
I
what
believe
I mean?
he was in 95. I want to say he was. I gotta think back on it.
I mean, and with his influence on you, then with you not being able to have access to him, what did that do to you?
I guess it got me kind of wild,
you know what I
you
mean?
know, and really him being gone and my older brothers being gone, I didn't really have nobody to stop me from doing shit.
So what made a whole year? I mean, what was the difference between?
Because I went to jail. I caught my case. Well, hold on. Let me see. Nope. 15, about 16 and a half, 17. So, because I caught my case in 97, and I was gonna be gone for the long haul from how it was looking. So, and nobody wrote me or anything. You know what I mean? There's one homeboy that wrote me, my homeboy Lil, rest in peace. He wrote me one time, and I appreciated that letter from him. Other than that, only people that was really by my side was females, not even my family. Or, well, a couple of family. Let me stop that. There's a few family members that was there. You know what I mean? But for the most part, it was just like females that really rolled with me during my time.
What is outside of just your thinking? You know what I mean? Outside of just your thinking, what else is different between
just the way I
15-year-old Bob?
Oh, and now and 40-year-old Bob.
You know what I mean? What jewels did you get from this whole walk, this whole journey?
My whole way of thinking is different. Like, you know, I don't do certain shit. I used to be like, now I feel like if I gotta carry a gun, I don't need to be there. You know, I used to be like, I have to take my gun everywhere I go. You know what I mean? But now I feel like if I have to carry a gun, I don't need to be there. And is it on me or you?
Nah, it's on you. Yeah, you know, you stalling. I understand. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like if I gotta carry a gun, I don't need to be there, man. And my whole vibe is just different right now. I think it's more of living life. I'm just now really starting to travel a lot more. Finally got a passport type shit. You know.
That's what's up. What would you say? What would you say is one of the most deadliest tools in the world? What would you say is one of the most deadliest tools in the world?
Shit, your mouth. For real. Because a person say something out their mouth and another person can believe it and put it like somebody say, oh, I heard he was telling. And I can believe it and treat you a certain way and beat you up, kill you, or whatever the case, because it's what somebody else said. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or it could be the mouth can also preach to you and tell you a lot of shit and put you on the game and give you all kind of jewels. So the mouth is a negative and a positive. It's a pro and a con to me. Because depending on where it's coming from, a person can say a lot of shit out their mouth and people's gonna take it and run with it.
And I'm gonna answer that question too with saying an educated black man. You know what I mean? That itself is a tool that's been meant to shut us down. Number one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's a great tool.
You know, and
but it's like too though. Educated black men, like you know what they do to them? They
knock them off fast.
Yeah.
You know,
one way or another, whether it be the penitentiary, just like a recent event when they I don't know, you've been doing the marches and stuff, haven't you?
No.
No? Oh, well.
No.
Okay, I don't either. But you know, they arrested
the
5 or 6. They arrested like 5 or 6 of the dudes and put all kind of BS charges on them. You know what I mean? So like I said, they try to knock them down. They ain't doing nothing wrong. Yeah. You know what I mean? At all.
They out here speaking and fighting for the people.
Yeah, and they done took them to jail and all types of stuff. You know what I mean? For them speaking their mind and put all kind of exciting riot. What other one did they say? Conspiracy to do this and that.
Bunch of bullshit.
A whole bunch. You know what I'm saying?
But that is put in place to instill the fear from the next ones from rising up too. Right. And you know what I mean? And it does its job.
And just like the car that ran through there, he was hoping to hit somebody black. You know, I think it was a Jeep or something like that. He was hoping to hit somebody black. You know.
Mm-hmm. What would you say is your evaluation of this generation's gangster?
Oh, I don't. It's non-existent, really.
I mean, look at
because like these dudes will not like even I'm too old to be fighting, but even if I had to in any situation, I'm gonna try to fight before I pull out a pistol. You know what I mean? Nowadays, you say something wrong first, they're not gonna say, "Let's get the heads." I'm shooting everything up. That's the
first thing. Missing everything.
Yeah, and hitting the wrong people. You know what I'm saying? So I don't hear nobody really saying let's fight or anything. They just really talk about
how much of that do you own?
What's what?
How much of that do you own? Just the behavior, the aura, the whole downfall of the gangster. How much do you take on?
I'll try to walk what I say. You know what I mean? So I don't really, like I said, I don't carry no pistol with me or nothing like that. And I tell it to the youth or anybody else younger, like, nigga, if you feel like you gotta have a gun, what you there for? You just putting yourself in danger. You know what I mean? Because if you got one, what you think everybody else got?
They ain't the only one they made.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's how they thinking kind of nowadays. They thinking like they stopped making them when they got beers. That's not the case
at all. All right, and to dig a little deeper too, like. When I ask how much of that do you own, you know, with them not being
fighters,
with them telling, with them not being fighters, with them just a whole.
I don't have. Well, shit.
I mean, cause you.
I don't have.
Would you say you an OG?
Yeah, I would somewhat like that. I'm up there in age. I mean,
you know what I mean?
They refer to me as that, but I don't really own it like that. You know what I mean? That's why I changed my name. They call me Bob. Like, I mean, Black Bobs, you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really hear too many people calling me my street name or nothing like that. You know what I mean? You see a few when I
Do you think that's the problem, though? You know, with the OGs not wanting to do anything or have any kind of affiliations with...
I do a lot of behind-the-scenes shit, though. Like, you know, like, I be feeding homeless and all types of stuff and preaching to little kids and all that, but I don't put it on social media because I don't feel like people do it for clout. I'm not about to go help this homeless person get an apartment and then, look at this and have the camera follow me and all that. That's not what it's for. It's really to help this person do something better with their life type shit. You know what I mean? Or feed them or whatever the case may be. So I don't do a lot of stuff on camera or for the social network.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's where a lot of people do. They do shit for social media. So back to your question, how much of that do I own? I can't really say. I mean, I would have to sit and think of how many people that came up under me and in my era that's told or that wasn't.
I mean, just looking at the where you would want it to be. You know what I mean? Like how you've grown, your gangster progressed.
Really, I wouldn't want it to be nowhere near what it used to be.
I mean, your gangster progressed. Yeah. It ain't what it was. Yeah. You know what I mean? But you still a gangster.
Yeah, you got
know what I mean?
Hold yours down.
So looking at that too, and the lack of what you say, you had leadership though, right?
Yeah, a little bit, somewhat.
And I would say, you know, nowadays the streets, the youngins, they lacking that leadership. You know what I mean? Some of them will look at one of the OGs and be like, I don't give a fuck who he think he is, what he think he did.
Right.
Nigga, I got this young pepper right here.
Cannon right here, yeah.
And this is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, so looking at that kind of culture, how do we get it to, you know, where the youngins out there will even potentially listen, because they ain't listening.
I don't know how we get these little dudes to listen, man. I mean, chastising them ain't working. So preaching clearly ain't working either. So what do we? I'm at a loss just as everybody else. You know what I mean? Because it's not like I've seen older dudes preaching to kids and trying to help kids and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's like I've seen rappers, local rappers trying to help. You know what I mean? But it's to no avail. You know what I mean? They still going out doing what they doing. From watching, like, I'm glad my son sit at home and play Fortnite all day.
Man.
I be like, at first I was mad, like, man, you got to get off that video game. But now it's like, man, go ahead and play it. Plus, this kid won $1.3 million from it. So shit.
Oh, man.
It's a win-win situation. You out the streets and you could possibly get some money.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We're going to get ready to take a quick little break from our chess table, you know what I mean, from our chess game. We're going to jump into a quick little word from our sponsors, you know what I mean? And we're going to jump back into this, all right?
All right.
We know running a business is not easy. You have to deal with hundreds of challenges every day. On top of that, there may be tasks that you can't control. Things like online marketing, graphic design, strategy. At the end of the day, this can be frustrating. Luckily, there's always people looking forward to helping you. And guess what? We're those people. We can help you by solving these problems that can be a bit of a headache. And best of all, this will also increase your sales. Now you can focus on your business, achieve your goals, and become the best in your field. Start running a successful business today. Take a look at our website and find out how we can help you.
You know, y'all just missed a big piece. How, you know, welcome back first of all to Off Your Chest. You know what I mean? King Phillip, your host, and I got my man Eastside Bobby. You know what I mean? Sitting chopping it up with him and getting a little chess in. You know what I mean? In the same sense. Just so y'all can see the score right now, it's 3-1. You know what I mean?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, it's 3-1. You know, I'm eating my man up real fast. You know, but while we went on this break, you know, I was just telling my man Bobby how, you know, I ain't never get quoted. I always had a problem with authority, you know, and
that was authority from all around.
And that's
if it was an older dude.
All around. You know what I mean?
So
and
you just couldn't listen to another dude tell you, hey man, go beat this dude up.
or here, hold this while we go shoot some dice or something. You know what I mean? And if you see anything, you better fire off. If you don't fire off. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's the whole, you know, that whole vibe wasn't me. You know what I mean? And I was, you know, before we had left, we looking at just the culture, you know what I mean, with the downfall, to say, of gangbanging, you know. We look at the music, we look at the videos, we look at the movies and everything that's being put out, and I believe that's playing a part too with, you know, with the downfall of gangbanging. Where I'm getting to is, you know, the lack of leadership. You know what I mean? Where we have a lot of the OGs that I know personally, they don't want nothing to do. But then, you know, we look at the atmosphere of gangbanging and the actual who the gangster is, and it's disgusting. They like, this ain't what it's supposed to be. But there's no solutions for it.
I know.
You know what I mean?
How do we figure out a solution?
How do we figure out? This is, you know.
I know when my man Terrence Roberts had his little spot, that was a good solution, because he had when he had his spot on 33rd and Holly, or it was somewhere over there.
33rd and Holly.
I believe it, yeah. He used to have youth come through there and stuff. You know what I mean? I think stuff like that would help a little bit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree. It comes down to, I fuck with T Rob. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say that like that. You know what I mean?
Me too.
And when T Rob, before everything had happened, it was almost like he was chastising the gang community.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? Calling them all out and letting them know where he's gonna be at.
Yeah, he definitely was.
So there's an approach to it. You know what I mean? And the work that he was doing, it's been proven that it was decreasing gang violence in our community. So I fuck with T Rob because what he did was proven to work. But what happened after? You know what I mean? How it's all systemic. You know what I mean? It's these same gangsters that's out here working with the police.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's the same gangsters who you ain't supposed to tell, you ain't supposed to even say nothing, and these are confidential informants. They on paperwork. How come these niggas are still out here breathing? I thought snitches get ditches. I thought snitches get stitches. Snitches is out here getting dapped up and all kind of other shit.
I haven't heard of a snitch getting killed in a long time.
How come? What happened? I mean, so many people are disgusted by them, but they don't want to move. And these are the same.
I know a lot of
Crips. These are the same gangsters. I don't gang bang. I don't. Yeah. That's why I haven't done nothing to them.
I know a lot of the OGs. They went to jail, and that slowed them down as far as them getting out and handling their business. So, and like a lot of people woke up. I see a lot of niggas woke up. Like a lot of my older homies they own businesses. They some of them's out of state. You know what I mean? They just wisened up. Like, man, this ain't for me. Mm-hmm. And they just left. So I know for them, they can't do anything. They can't.
But this is part of their code, though, too.
It is. It's to help the community. It is. It's part of the code. That's how it's supposed to be.
And me personally, I feel like confidential informants is detrimental to our community.
Yeah.
I personally feel that way. And I'm still trying to figure out how come these dudes.
It goes back to you saying about the snitching. So, because you'll be surprised on some people that's confidential informants. It could be a nigga's mom. Excuse my language. It could be a dude's mom that's a confidential informant. She's in the mix. She knows all the gang members. They all come to her house to chill. They all do this. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, a confidential informant come in many forms. It's not just gangbangers.
I mean, but even looking at that, too.
She need to go, too.
Why? I mean, looking at that, I'm still coming down. How come these people are still out here walking around? Because, again, I've had an OG, he tell me, I ain't nobody touched him because he can fight. He will beat niggas up. I had an OG tell me this about a dude who's a confidential informant.
I've heard that.
You know what I mean?
I've heard that. A lot of times niggas is minding their own business too. That's what they say. That's what they. That's the number one. It's like, man, that ain't my business. That's.
Oh man.
Because it's like if the person you telling on ain't pushing the line on you, and you the one that told on me, and I'm not pushing the line on you, then why in the hell else would somebody else push the line because he's following the code in the streets?
He's supposed to though, ain't he?
He is, but not if the other one ain't. Like I ain't.
So what's supposed to happen to the other one who ain't pushing the line, who got told on type of thing?
He need to get beat up too. Like we out here doing this for you, and you ain't doing nothing. So shit, you need some consequences too. Like
so
I don't understand.
Who's upholding these?
No one. Yourself is upholding.
So when you got in, if you knew that this was going to be the outcome, if you knew gangsters was going to be wearing skinny jeans and running from fades and all kind of other stuff, would you have still chose?
Nah.
But you would have still had Syke who was still there. You would have still had the homies who were still there.
Yeah, I still wouldn't have. I got into it because I thought it just looked fun to me. I was like, I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't playing. I didn't have toys and stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? That's what looked fun to me. I didn't watch a lot of cartoons, so, and like I said, I worked hard to change my image and who I am and carry myself a whole different way. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people just like, once they hear my backstory, they're like, whoa, you know what I mean? Because I don't carry myself like that at all to this day. You know what I mean? I carry myself a whole totally different way on purpose. I mean, it didn't get me nowhere, so why would I continue to carry myself that way when this new, I guess it's not really the new me, I'm still the same me, I'm just I altered me. You
Yes,
know what I
indeed.
mean?
Evolve.
Yeah, that's
You know
all
what I
it
mean?
is. So
It's growth.
it's what's the saying? Some people say I changed, and I say a lot's changed me type shit.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever, you know what I mean?
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's all it really is. I'm still the same person, or can be the same person when it comes down to that part of life. But I choose not to be. For what?
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that. What are you doing right now?
Right now, man, I'm waiting on some legal paperwork before I start making this movement. I don't really want to speak on it just yet, but I'm gonna make a movement. For the most part, I just do my clothing line and make T-shirts.
Okay. Are you currently married?
Nope.
Are you?
I'm not married.
Okay. Why not?
I was married.
You got babies. You got 4 of them.
Yup.
You know what I mean? How many kids mothers do you have?
3.
You got 3 of them. 4 kids, 3 baby mamas.
Yeah.
How come you ain't married to all 3 of them?
I wish it would work that way, but the first one, we was kids. I was 16, 15, 16. The first one, we was kids, not knowing nothing, just running around having sex.
Right.
And then the other 2.
Do you have a good relationship with her?
Nope, she's the downfall of my relationship with my daughter. So I have a horrible relationship with her. But my other 2 were great. From her on down, everything's great. You know what I mean? I have a great relationship with them. I was actually gonna my kids live in Arizona, and I was gonna pop up with my son at his football game and surprise him today, but it didn't work in my favor as far as the plane tickets and stuff. So everything else is good with my kids, man, and my kids' mom. Like, we talk, and you know, they need something, whatever, we reach out, we talk, whatever.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
How come you're not with them?
Well, like I said, the first one, that's just
yeah.
And then the second one,
if y'all so cool,
think,
like, you know what I mean?
Well, you know, we tried the relationship thing and it didn't work, and really jail did it, kind of, because with me and my 2 boys' mom, I went to jail, and while I was in jail, she found a new love type thing, you know what I mean? So then we had a whole issue with that and everything else, and then we just figured out we was cool like how we are. We didn't try to, and then I got out of jail. I was a hoe. I wasn't trying to settle down or nothing like that. So it's like she wasn't trying to sit around and wait for me to get my act together. Like now, if I wasn't in the situation I'm in now, I probably would have pursued it. But we're cool where we at.
Do you think you know, I'm building a question up, you know what I mean? Do you think your family dynamics played a role in, you know, with your mom and pops, played a role in your current dynamics with your own family?
I definitely have trust issues, like real bad trust issues, and it's not even just with women; it's just with everybody. Period. You know what I mean? So, and that those trust issues do come from family situations and shit.
What do you think divided the black man and the black woman's family system? Because looking at the 50s, we're gonna go back to the 50s. You know, the dads was in the household. The households were strong. Now it's like niggas would rather have a relationship with their kids and not have to deal with the bullshit. You know what I mean? If there's bullshit.
I can't really speak on that because I fought hard because I was in that same situation where me and the kid's mom was going at it.
Yeah.
Tough. But I seen that I mean, and we tried to make it work.
That was me, right?
Yeah, and then I did, because I seen that move. Oh, yeah, because I was right here. I moved this right here.
Okay.
So I know where you about to go now. Possibly.
I don't want no trouble, but I'm listening though.
But me, I fought hard to be cordial with this dude starting shit. He said he don't want no problem, but he started all the smoke in the world.
Trying to play a little chess, that's it.
He want all the smoke in the world.
No trouble.
But like I said, I fought hard to be cool with my baby moms because even though it's like all about the kids, you still need that because kids ain't gonna tell you everything.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially if they're doing bad in school or whatever the case may be. So they ain't gonna tell you everything. So you gotta have some kind of relationship with the mom.
Yes, indeed.
At least to be able to, And then that got to one point where, cause she had remarried after me, and me and him hated each other. Like,
Yeah, I was just getting ready to get there.
Oh man, it was real.
Why though?
It was
why?
Cause honestly, he was doing some weenie shit. He for real. I'll keep it 100. He was doing some weenie shit. He got her head so cold that he told her not to let me see my kids, and she listened. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to alleviate the whole problem with him. Like, you the problem, not her, because she just listening to you.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So, but we ended up we ended up being cool, man, because like some situations happened, and it was basically a sign. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I think me and him both recognized it, and then once we was cool, then she started acting cool, and then once I was able to get in her head and talk to her the right way, we all became pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? They had their own personal issues. I didn't have nothing to do with that.
So now it's now.
But she ain't even want to do it no more. She was somebody else.
Oh,
remarried. I gotta get to know a new nigga.
Oh.
You know, but
you know new niggas too. You get to know new niggas
man,
too.
I got to meet the new cat and see how he is, man, and go from there. You know,
I mean,
as long as my kids don't call me complaining.
That's where I was just getting to.
They had before, and like my kids, like, they know my backstory as well. So and they kind of use it to their advantage sometimes, and I be having to tell them, like, man, that ain't always the route to go. You know, but for the most part, I'm hoping the new dude is cool. I ain't met him yet. I don't know. I think he in jail or something. But I'm hoping the new dude is cool, man, so we can move forward with this relationship. And you know, they live in Arizona and everything, so I'll be having to travel there. They have to travel here and stuff. So it's a different, bit of a different situation.
I mean, you know, I feel like one of the issues within the black community is the black man not being in the household. But as long as you maintain that relationship with your children, and you build a relationship with those who's going to be involved with the children, I feel like that's a good step forward.
That's the best thing to do, man. You know what I mean?
And I'm seeing your approach, you know what I mean, with getting to know the dudes, you know what I mean?
You got to know something about them, get to know about them, or whatever the case may be, because I'm trying hard about it. I'm not going to lie. I question them.
And a lot of the women, they just come in, you know, not the women, but a lot of the dudes on the opposite end, there's always some kind of jealousy factor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and women do a good job of making sure that jealousy factor is there.
Oh man, for what reason?
I don't know. Just move on. Reason? They do a good job of making sure that jealousy factor is there. But saying all that to say too, you know what I mean? Have you made it hard for any of your kids' mothers to pursue another relationship? I mean, in the beginning, young and dumb, yeah, and feelings hurt type shit, yeah. But now, no, I don't make it hard at all. Like my youngest son's mom, shit, I don't even know who. She done been in 4-5 relationships. I ain't met none of them. I only know one dude's name out of all the relationships she's probably been in since me. I don't make it hard at all. Like, I don't have nothing to do with it. My main concern is they know you got to do like a. And these men is around your kids, and you don't know? No, they ain't around. Well, with her, he hasn't been around. Just the one dude that she did tell me about. But with her, they just like. They end up really being flings, 6-month flings and shit. She don't ever really have that. She hasn't had anything that lasted for whatever reasons. That's on her. It's not my business. But no, they ain't been around. They ain't been around mine. I'm big on that. What would you say is your what is the best chess life move that you ever made? What would you say is your best chess move? Changing my life, man, and looking at shit from a different view. For real, that was like my best move, because I used to be a hothead, man, and I used to do shit that just didn't make sense in all aspects, whether it be in a relationship or in some street shit or even business shit. You know what I mean? So I really, for real, think the best move is within myself and changing myself. And what did you learn most from, number one, the streets? What did you learn most from growing out of that aspect too? And I'm looking at specifically the youngins who could be listening, you know what I mean? Well, from the streets, it's just like, really, you can't, like, as much as you think people is your partners and your friends, it's not gonna come from where you think it's gonna come from as far as like real relationships. You know what I mean? Like my best homeboy's a blood, and it just came. We met in jail 20 years ago, and at the time on the yard, I had the keys on my side, he had the keys on his side, and a situation happened where he had to come over to our unit because they was fixing his unit. So now we in the same pod together. You know what I mean? And then like he was so much into musical stuff that one day I walk out my room and he's playing Corrupt Seawalk. And I look like, I was like, is this a mind thing? He trying to get my attention or what? And it just sparked up a conversation between us, man, and we've been rocking for 20 years straight. You know what I mean? So, and that ain't nobody that I knew from the 90s. You feel what I'm saying? So my best thing from the streets is like, man, you just gotta watch who you mess with, man. Everybody ain't who they think they is. That's the main thing. Everybody ain't who they all got ulterior motives.
Oh yeah.
Not they all. Most people got ulterior motives to hinder your way of living. You know what I mean? So really, it's take care of yourself, for real. Yes, indeed. Always look out for self before anything else. That's what I would say. Number one lesson I learned from the streets: look out for self before anything else.
Look out for self than anything else.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't, because sometimes you get wrapped up. You know what I'm saying? You got homeboys and shit. You think they ride with you, so you do stupid shit with them. You know what I mean? You even lend them money. You take care of them, and the next thing you know, they do some foul shit. I
was getting ready to rap, but when was the last time you been pulled over by the police?
When was the last time? This year I got pulled over.
How do you feel when the police get behind you?
Man, I was cold foe. I'm cold foe like a motherfucker, man. And I still was like nervous as shit. Like nervous as hell. Like
they got everything.
I got license, insurance, everything, and I'm still was like, man, they about to find a reason. I just always that's probably where my most negative thinking comes in from. You feel what I'm saying? I usually try to be a positive dude or whatever the case may be, but when it comes to the police, that's police or any of that other shit. Like I don't really be into politics like that, but I should. You know what I mean? If you told me to vote, I'm gonna have to hear you and tell me who you think I should vote for, and I'll go and vote. You know what I mean? Because I honestly really don't get into it, man. Like I know that's probably a big part of our living, but I feel like shit, I got some other shit going on that I need to really focus on and take care of my family and take care of home.
And you know, I asked that because you know, I get to the point even when I was rapping with a couple of my mentees, you know, they telling me that they don't feel safe pulling over. You know, it's like to the point where he's like, I'm not gonna pull over.
Yeah, that's bad though. Like
it's a terrible idea.
That's horrible. So that you definitely got to change that.
I mean,
thinking.
But what's bad? What part is bad? Not pulling over, or the fact that we fear pulling over is worse than, you know what I mean?
Both is bad, but they got to pull over and face that, because like, I mean, really for real, man, it sucks to say, and people ain't gonna agree, man. If you do the right thing with these motherfuckers instead of like, because a lot of people like you got an authority problem. So you probably talk shit to the police.
Oh no.
No?
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, that's good.
No,
most people
gotta respect.
Because most people, you kind of put yourself in a situation.
There's still those situations that we experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Breonna Taylor.
Yeah. Wow.
You know what I mean?
Crazy.
Elijah McClain.
Right.
You know what I mean? They ain't doing nothing wrong that's getting them killed.
Yeah. That's true.
You know,
too.
So even looking at, you know, I'm all about solutions.
It seemed like Elijah had that mentality, like, oh man, I don't want to get pulled over from the videos and shit. It kind of seemed like he was like, man, I'm just going home. And he tried to, you know what I mean, push past some shit, and you know, for real, that triggers shit in the police head. Like, why are you trying to push past me? Even though they had no reason to. Well, they claim they did, but you know, they really had no reason to. And so that pushes thing. Oh, so he's trying to move around us, so he must got something.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, so even looking at that too. So with the homies who they like, I ain't pulling over. You know what I mean? They in their 20s, early 20s, and me at 36, I'm like, I'm not gonna pull over either. You know, but this is the thing. We have to have a solution for this. You know what I mean?
So this is my solution. In the car, and if you talk right, move right, you out of the situation.
That ain't always the case.
I know it's not always the case, but I'm
the case. And
right, because you might get that asshole cop.
You know,
you rolling the dice.
We shoot the dice every time, and you know, my thing is, I wouldn't feel safe pulling over, but I would feel safe pulling up to Brother Jeff's spot. You know what I mean? Where I know where people's going to be gathered around waiting type shit for that situation. That, you know what I mean? So this is my idea.
Have different spots.
You know, we talk about these safe zones for the kids. And it's a beautiful thing, but we don't talk about these safe zones for their parents, for adults. For
black people, period.
For black people, period, who just need that sense of security if the police get behind them. You know what I mean? So my idea is to create an app. I have an app developer right now where we would identify the safe zone in the community. So let's say I'm on the east side and the police get behind me. Boom, I can activate my safe zone. I can see what safe zone is near me. I can hit it, and everybody will get activated who's checked into that safe zone, and they will know to pull up there so that the police can still do their stop and everything is good. You know what I mean? So it still get handled. You know, we can still walk away. So my thing is, you know, people, they like, well, the police, they don't think you running. You got to pull over.
I'm gonna pull over eventually.
I'm gonna pull over eventually, you know. But the thing is, we can't look at it like a looting charge. So we got to get some kind of communication. That's what I'm saying.
What's the law? That's what I think before something like that, you would have to figure out the law of eluding. What eluding means.
You know, we speaking with councilwomen. You know what I mean? The councilmen in the districts and stuff like that to come up with a plan for that. And my plan is easy. We hit the hazard.
The hazard on your
car. All cars have hazards. Yep. We communicate to the police. If a car has their hazards on and you're behind them, they are letting you know that they're driving to a safe zone. Don't start shooting at them.
Yeah, or even calling for backup and none of that stuff.
Even calling for backup, none of that. You know what I mean? So with that being said too, you know, we're looking at solutions when it comes to next steps in the police. You know, that's why I asked you, how do you feel about the police? You know what I mean? When getting behind you and stuff like that. And when was the last time you got pulled over?
I was on the highway and still I was on the highway headed to the airport, just speeding, trying to get to the airport pass, and didn't even really recognize it. But I know I was nervous as hell. Even with everything, even with all my credentials or whatever the case may be, I still didn't feel right when I'm like, he's gonna find a reason. He's gonna come back and find
reason. He's gonna plan a reason.
Yeah, exactly. It's how you think.
That's how we think, and we shouldn't. But it's at this point where we'd be dumb not to.
Right.
You know what I mean? So quick fast before we wrap up. I see you still stalling. Number one.
I moved right here. This was my last move. Was this right here?
That was your last move?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I was stalling then. Excuse me. You know, I don't want no trouble. Oh. All right, but before we wrap up, if there's anything that you didn't get off your chest, that you still want to get off your chest, what would it be? Now's your time for it.
Oh, dang, you just made a hell of a move.
I don't want no trouble, man. I don't want no trouble.
How is now my time with this move you just made? You gonna put me in a hard position and then say, now's your time to get everything off your chest.
There's anything else you want to get off your chest, you know what I mean?
Man, not really nothing, man. I think I'm gonna do my Thanksgiving drive this year, man. So I'm gonna look out for help for that. And really, man, just stay positive and leave all the bullshit alone. Really, man, for real, try to get as less of social media as possible. You know what I mean? If you do, you got to condition your mind to know what to entertain and what not to entertain.
Yes, indeed.
You know what I mean? I love to see all the little funny shit and all that shit. That's the most you'll see me put on there. I put some memes on there outside of like a business thing or something. You know what I mean? I'm gonna put a funny meme or something. Nothing really. I'm on the same level as you. I watch the fight. I ain't gonna share it. I shared like the other day. As a matter of fact, DoorDash is doing free deliveries for any black-owned companies and stuff. I shared that the other day. So I do some shit like that. Other than that, man, do your research and don't just always think what a motherfucker tell you is all the way 100. You know what I mean? So for real, do your research, man, and stay positive and leave the bullshit alone.
Yes, indeed. Leave the bullshit alone. You know what I mean? We're going to leave it on that note.
Get en route to success.
Leave the bullshit alone. Get en route to success. You know what I mean? I'm your host, King Phillip. You done tapped into another episode of Off Your Chest. You know what I mean? We're going to finish this game up. But thank y'all for tapping in. You know what I mean? Peace.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, brother.